Howdy guys, Chris Zoupa here. What's up? I finally got my head around this in the fire middle solo. It's quite redonk, so if you're a bit scared of difficult long solos, turn away now. Anyway, let's take a look.
No, just say goodbye.
Okay, let's take a look at the first section. I want to start from 12 of the second string. I've got this little triplet or apple pie rhythm on 12 of the first. I do that twice in a row. After I've done that second little apple pie, I go. So I do that little triplety thing there, and then I go 14, 15 on the first. And I've got a slight bend on the 14, up and back. And then when I bring it back down, I want to do this little hammer onto a pull off from 12 to 14 back to 12. So to go. So that 12, 14, 12 bit at the end is all one pick. So let's try it all thus far a little bit slower. Okay, and then at the end of that I've got this. So what I'm doing there is I'm bending the 15 up and then playing it on the way down. Then I go back to 12. So after that I get to these weird slidey phrases. So what I've got at the start of that was the 12 of the second string. I'm sliding from 12 to 15 and then I slide back to 10 and hit it when I get there. So it'll go. Okay, and then after that I do a similar idea. I slide from 10 to 12 and then slide to 7 and hit it when I get there. So in a row, back to back. I want to hit that 7 twice when I get there. Let's try the whole thing thus far from the start and we'll add that little bit at the end. After I've hit that 7th fret twice, we've got this slight bend and I think it's about 9 picks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so it's bending gradually and then I'm just doing it not too ridiculously fast, but fast-ish alternate picks till I get to 9 and then I sort of vibrato at the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Give it a light vibrato and then we work into that, which is the second section. So let's take it slowly from the start, from the 12 of the second. Let's have a look at the second section. I want to start with a bend on 15 of the second string and then hit 12 of the first. And I'm going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and. So I'd be thinking of the bend notes as the on beat and then that pointer finger note on the first string on 12 as the off beat. So I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and then I work into this phrase. So what I'm doing here is a quick triplet. A group of 3 on 15 to the first string, and then I hammer from 15 to 17, pull off back to the 15, and then pull off to the 12. So I go. So all together. Then from there, I hammer to 15, and I want to do a hammer on to 15 and pull off to 12, hammer back to 15 and pull off to 12. So the way I would think of this is just 2 pull-offs from the 15. But we only pick at 1, so we'll go. I'll slow that down. Then I bring it to the second string, all in one pick. I'm going to go 15, 12, 15, 12 with pull-offs and hammers. So this little chunk here. Hopefully that's making sense. Let's try it from the start again. Just make sure you've got those 2 hammer-ons there, and then we work into this phrase here. So I got 2 little lead-in things. I do a slight bend on 14 of the 3rd string and then hit 12 of the 1st. And then from there I'm going to this. What I'm doing here is a slight bend on 17 of the 1st string, then pulling off to 12, and then I'm playing 15 of the 2nd string after that. And I want to do 4 of those in a row, so I go 2, 3, 4. So let's put that little bendy bit at the start now. Then after that I go back into some hammer-on-y pulley stuff. So now I'm playing 12 of the 1st, and then I do hammer to 15 and then pull off to 12. Now that's it for this string. We did 2 pull-offs last time, it's just 1 this time. Then when I get to the 2nd string, with 1 pick, I want to go 15, 12, 15, 12. So that pull-off idea twice, all in 1 pick. That's what I go. And then when I get to the 3rd string, I've got 3 pull-offs, and you'll notice that I'm working up a pretty sort of standard E minor pentatonic shape here. I'm doing a pull-off from 14 to 12, then I hammer back to 14, pull off to 12, hammer to 14 again, and pull off to 12. So we've got 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. So I go. When I'm playing that, I'm obviously doing 1 pick a string, but I'm thinking 1 pull-off, 2 pull-offs, then 3. And that's all of the 2nd section. Let's try it nice and slow. Okay, let's start the 3rd section with a bend on 14 of the 3rd string. I pull off that back to 12 and I want to hit 14 of the 4th. Then at the end of that I go into this phrase. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing 12, 14 on the 4th string, and I play 12 of the 3rd. I jump back up to 14 of the 4th string and hit 12 again. So we go the whole thing thus far. Then after that I go into this phrase. So what I've got here is a bend up and back on 14 of the 3rd string again. This time I'm actually going to pluck the 12. Then at the end of that, I've got a sort of bendy vibrato thing on 15 of the 2nd string. So the whole thing thus far. And I go into this little phrase. So what I've got here is I'm bending 15 of the 2nd string up and then also playing it on the way down. And at the end of that, I'm just plucking 13, 12 on the 2nd string. So the whole thing thus far. Okay, then after that we're just going to work into this big shred run at the end, which has got a bit of wah and quite a bit more distortion than I have now, but just keeping it a little bit cleaner so you guys can hear what I'm doing. I'm just going to be working through a diatonic E minor or E Aeolian scale for this. So, and we're just going to do 2 notes, 2 sort of triplets per string. So you think of it just as a normal scale, but you're playing each string with those 3 notes twice. So what I'm doing at the start of that was playing 12, 14, 15 on the 6th string, doing it twice. Same on the 5th string, 12, 14, 15. When I get to the 4th, I play 12, 14, 16 twice. And when I get to the 3rd, I play 12, 14, 16 twice as well. At the end of that, I've got the squealy note here on 12 of the 3rd string. Okay, let's try that section slowly from the top. Okay, let's have a look at section 4 when Cora kicks in. I want to do a slide into 9 of the 3rd, and then I'm going to play 7, 9 twice after that. After the 2nd, 7, 9, I want to jump over to 12 of the 3rd and then play 11. So all together. Hopefully that's all making sense, and then I go into this little phrase here. So what I'm doing there is playing 7, 9, and then a slight bend on 11, and then resolving that on 9 of the third. Let's try the whole thing thus far. And I go into this phrase. All of that sweepy business. So what have I got here? I'm doing a slide from 10 to 12 on the second string. Then I hit 12 again, and then I hit it a third time, and slide that back to 10. So slide into 12, pick it again, and then reverse that slide. Then I go, what I'm doing here is I'm playing 10, 8 on the second with my middle finger, so I pluck both the notes, and then I do a pull off from 8 to 7. So I want to hit that 8 twice. Let's try and join that to the slidey phrase. Okay, then from there I go. So I'm hitting 9th fret of the 3rd string 3 times. And after that 3rd pick, pulling off to the 7. And at the end of that little chunk goes. So what I'm doing there is I'm playing 10, 9, 7 on the 4th, and then going back to the 9 again. Let's try the whole section from the start a little slower, and then we'll add that sweepy bit. Hopefully that's all making sense, and then we work into this. Sorry. So it's basically working around your standard kind of E minor sweep. The first one is relatively predictable. I'm doing a hammer on from 12 to 15 on the 6th string, then playing 14 over the 5th and 4th string, flattening that ring. I've got 3 12s in a row. So I go hammer to 15 and slide over to 19. Then I pull that off. So I'm pulling off 19 to 15, playing 17 of the second and then 16 of the third. Then I work my way back down, so I'm hitting 17 of the second again and then back to 15 of the first. And then instead of hammering onto that 19, for some reason he does a tap. Now, the weird thing about this is because he taps over here, it's kind of difficult to do the tap and the sweep. So what I do is I legato most of that arpeggio. So I do that and then I hammer on 17 of the second, 16 of the third, 17 of the fourth, then 19 of the fifth, then pull that off to 14 of the fifth, and then I slide, actually pluck that last note from 15 to 12. Sort of go. And at the end of that, I do a hammer on from 12 to 14 on the 3rd string, and then pluck it again, and then do that light vibrato. So let's do the arpeggio one more time, and we'll try the whole section. Alright, let's try from the start of the section. Okay, so we've gone from Corey, we trade back to Matt in the 5th section. We're going to work through this little phrase here. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing 7, 9, 10 on the 5th, and then jumping to 9 of the 4th, and then playing 9, 11, 12 on the 3rd. So it's the same sort of Aeolian shape on both of those little guys. And I jump to 10 of the 2nd, and I play 10, 12, 14, and a slight vibrato there on 14 of the 1st string. So all together, then I go. What I'm doing here is playing 15, hammering to 17, and then pulling off 15, 12. Then I jump to 15 of the 2nd string, and then 12 of the 1st twice. Then it goes to this little phrase. Let's try what we've got so far, and then we'll work on that. Okay, then after we've hit that 12 of the 1st string twice, I go. So what what I do is a hammer on 14, 15, 4. And then when I get back to the 12, I want to pluck that again. I'm doing a hammer on 12, 14, 12 as a hammer on 2 pull-off. So it's sort of 2 hammer on 2 pull-offs in a row. Okay, then I go to 14, and then I pluck the 14 again and bend it, and then play 12 of the first. Sort of go 12 of the second rather, and then it goes sort of go. And the end of that phrase was 14, 12 on the third, and then 14 of the fourth. Sort of go. Let's try the whole thing thus far a little slower. Then it goes into this little phrase which is kind of similar to what we had, I think it's section 3. So what I've got here, I'm playing 12, 14 of the fourth, 12 of the third, 12 of the fourth, 14 of the fourth, and then back down to 12 of the third. So I'll play that slowly. Then I go. That's very, very, very similar. So 14 up and back is a bend, 12 of the third, and then at 15 bend. I'm pretty sure that's identical. And it goes into this phrase. Alright, so let's do this last little chunk slowly and then we'll put it all together. I'm playing 9 of the fourth string twice, 11 of the third, and then back to 9 of the fourth. Then it goes. So I do a slide from 11 to 12, and then when I get back to 11, I pluck it. And then it'll go 9, 8 at the end of that. And then back to 9 again, so it'll go 9, 8, back to 9. A little bit slow from this chunk. And the last bit of that section is 11 of the third vibrato, and then a bit of squealy action on that 12th fret. So let's try the whole thing from the start of this section. So let's have a look at Corey's big shred. I want to start off with a hammer into a pull off on 11 of the third, and then I go 14, 12, 14 on the fourth, and then it goes into this phrase. Let's slow that down. I'm playing 12, 11 on the third, and then 14 in the string above. So all together. Now I'm going to add this to it. What I'm doing here, all on the third, I'm playing 11, 14, 11, 12, and then 11. And then adding 14, 12, 14 on the fourth string. So all together. Okay, and then from there we go into the next little chunk, which is this. So what I'm doing here is a hammer into a pull off again, 11, 12, 11 on the third, 14 in the string above. Then I work up the scale by doing this. We're just going 11, 12, 14 on the third string. So when I get to the second string, I go 12, 13, 12, 13, and then to 15. And then just 12, 14 twice in the first string. So it'll go. And from there, we're going to work into this descent phrase. Let's slow that down. I want to be playing 15, 14, 12 on the first, and then 12 on the second. And then from there, I want to go 14, 12, 11 on the third. And then I work into this phrase. So I play 9, 11 on the third, 12 on the second, and then 11, 9 on the third. Then I go. So the next part I play is 9 of the fourth, and then I go 12, 10, 9 on the fifth. Okay, and then from there I want to play 10 and then go back to 7, sort of go. Okay, then the end goes. So I play 9 and then do a slide from 9 to 10. I'll hit that 9 twice actually. Then when I go back to 9, I'm going to squeal that 9th fret, sort of go. whole section from the start now. Okay, let's have a look at this next section. I want to start with that little octave shape on 10 of the 5th and 12 of the 3rd. I'm going to hit that twice. Then I slide it back to 9 and hit it again when I get there. When I hit that 9, I want to slide to 12. And then I slide, I'll hit 12 again and then slide to 14. And hit 14 when I get there. So nice and slow. And I go into this big shred. This destroyed my life, so hopefully you guys can make some sense of this slowed down. I want to start from 12 of the 6th string. We're going to be working with a relatively diatonic idea. Let's slow that down. I'm playing 12, 14, 15 on the 6th, and then playing 12 of the 5th. And then I want to play 15, 14, 15 on the 6th string as well. The end of that phrase goes, which is going 12, 14, 15, 14, 12 on the 5th. So, then from there I go. So what I'm doing here is I've just ended on 12. I want to be playing 14, 15 again. And then I want to play 12, 14, 16 on the 4th string. And then what I do here is jump my pointer finger over and go 14, 16, 17 on the 4th, sort of go. So the whole thing thus far. Okay, and then from there I go. So what I'm doing here is I'm going 14, 16, 14 on the 3rd, and then 17, 16, 17 on the 4th. So all together. And then I go, so what I'm doing there is playing 14, 16 twice on the 3rd string. And then I slide from 17 to 19 on the 3rd string. Then from 19, I'm just going to descend down a couple of notes and then ascend back. So it'll go slide into 19, and then it'll go 17, 16 on the 3rd. And then it'll go 19, 17, 19 on the 4th. And then the end of that is just that quick ascend up, 16, 17, 19 on the 3rd, sort of go. Let's try that whole shred run and then we'll put the octaves in front of it. Alright, let's take it from the octaves now. Okay, this section is super fun. We're going to start off with this little phrase. So good. Anyway, we're going to play from 12 of the 2nd string, and then I go 15, 14, 15 on the 1st. And I do pretty much the same idea, but just the pointer finger comes down to 12 of the 1st. So I play 12, and then 15, 14, 15, and that's all on the 1st string. I'm going to do that exact same idea 4 times. This in itself is just a really good exercise to just get speed up as a general thing. So do that 4 times. And then we go to this. It's pretty much exactly the same idea, but the pointer comes back to 11 of the 2nd string on the 1st group, and then we jump back down to 12 of the 1st. So this next group goes 11, and then 15, 14, 15 on the 1st, and then 12 of the 1st. And we just do that one twice. So all together, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then from there I go. So what I'm doing here is just a straight descent down this scale. I'm starting from 15 of the 1st string, and I'm playing 15, 14, 12, 15, 13, 12 on the 2nd, 14, 12, 10, sorry, 14, 12, 11 on the 3rd, and then I play 9 twice on the 3rd. So all together. Then it goes. So what I go here, I'm going 9, 11, 12, and then 11 with a slight vibrato on the third string. Then I slide from 12 to 14 on the fourth. Then I play 12 with the third. Then I play 14 twice, but the second time I've got that slight bend. So the whole thing from this little chunk thus far, sorry. Then I go, so the end of that was 12, 14, 14. Okay, from the start of the section thus far, and then we'll work on those last arpeggios. Okay, then we work into this. So what I'm doing is just this basic E minor arpeggio. I'm doing a pull off from 19 to 15, then playing on the first string, then playing 17 to the second, 16 of the third, and then making my way back down. On the way back down was 17 to the second and 15 to the first. So I do that, and then I do the arpeggio again, but I want to do 2 pull-offs. So I've got 1 pull-off, and I've got 2 more arpeggios with the double the double pull-off. So I've got, hopefully that makes sense. And at the end of the second double pull-off, I end on the pointer, and then I go. What I've got here is a pull-off from 20 to 15 on the first, and then I play 17 to the second, and then I just descend down this scale. What I've got there, quickly go through this, is 19, 17, 15 on the first and second string, and then I go to 17 of the third, and I play 17, 16, 14, and also the same on the fourth. So to go. That's the whole section. Let's take it from the start nice and slow. Alright guys, last chunk. We're going to start from 16 at the third string. I'm going to go. So I'm playing that once, and then I do it 3 more times. If you're like me and you're not cool and you don't have a whammy, just pluck it 3 times. If you have the whammy, you can go and do that 3 whammy thing, but I'm just going to pluck all the notes. So anyway, let's see what we can do with this. Then it goes. What I do there is I go 17, 16, 14, 12. Then I hit 14 twice. And then we've got 3 more whammies. I'll just do 3 more picks. So we go. Then it goes. So I go 12, 11, 12 on the third. Then it goes. So 12, 11, 12, and then hammer on 11, 12, 11 into a pull off, and then I go 14, 12, 14 on the fourth string. So to go all together. And from there I go into this. So I've got at the start of that some razor things going on in the background there, so I want to go. What I've got is this little sweep. I'm hitting 14 of the fourth and a flat pointer across 12 of the first 3 strings, and then I hammer that pinky or a ring onto 15 of the first string, and then I go, which is playing 14 of the first and then 15 of the second. Then I go. So what I do here is a hammer on from 14 to 15 on the first, and then I hit 14 again, and at the end of that I play 15, 17. So it goes all together. Let's try it from the start of the section, and then we'll deal with that last little shred. Hopefully that's all making sense. And then the last bit I go. Let's slow that down. I'm going 15, 17, 19, 17, 15 on the first. And then I play 19, 17, 15 twice on the second. And then the next string's got a quick little double shred as well. It's going 17, 16, 14 twice. So I go. And then this last bit is just going backwards and forwards. So I'm playing 17, 16, 14, 16, 17 on the 4th. And then I go in and out on this one as well. 14, 16, 17, 16, 14 on the 3rd. So I go. And then it goes. So the last little bit I did there was 17, 16, 14 on the 4th. And then I hit 16 of the 3rd string. So I go. From a little shred now. And the end bit is just a hammer on from 15 to 17 on the 2nd with a bit of whammy. Or vibrato if you're lame like me. So let's try and do the whole section from the start a little slower. God blimey. That is the In the Fire solo. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. I'll catch you real soon.